I don't know why the butter knife sucks.
Like a dull knife through butter.
Actually, it's not that bad.
The knives usually work pretty well. Just takes
Alright. Oh no! Should we start recording and do the...
I'm already recording.
Everybody's already recording.
Well, now you fucking tell me.
Hi, this is Aaron Kasunic. I'm a filmmaker and photographer at EIDG Productions. Check out my latest short film on YouTube, EIDG Productions, or follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/EIDG Productions.
Hi, my name is Jason Kasunic. I am a freelance filmmaker as well as a Twitch streamer. My handle is Jason the Viking on Twitch and YouTube. And I'm currently stuck in a dead-end job. I'm going to always put that in.
Mike Jenkin, I'm a hired assassin. I'll be helping out. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, occupation, just a dishwasher. Artist, I like to draw and
So hi, I'm David Donahoo. Basically trying to write multiple different things, multiple different books. Pretty much anything that can distract me from the main work of my life. Nothing really out there right now. And that's it.
This is the Andre Cato, not the one and only, but the one you need to know. On Instagram at massive_boy_. And everything else, Andre Cato, ANDRECATO. I'm simply pleased to be here.
My name is Ryan Kinney. I run an art group called HEYMAN Productions and a writing group called Beautiful Blasphemy.
Alright, so Ryan's here. I don't know if anyone knew that.
So what sexual topic we're talking about this time?
I'm Ryan's your laugh.
It's true. I'm not getting sex right now, so...
Well, we know that's out of the question.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure many of us here at this table know what that's about. Not this fun. Dave, hey, I make books for people. Those little bifolds. It's free. I'll make it for you for free if you want something out there.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, there's no compensation on either end, but I can spread your word around. You can put some ads in there for some stuff you might want people to get interested in.
Okay.
Things like
Get
that.
your message out there, Dave.
That's the format I do because it's cheap, low cost, and easy to pass around at poetry readings or whatever I go to.
Cool.
At the very least, you'll get the digital file, and you can print as many as you want. And color is up to you. Which part? Normally, it's like a color cover, and then the inside's black and white. But it can be anything you want. I have one book that's solid color. It's super expensive to print. And it's usually about 20-ish half pages you get. You can do a byline, a photo, cover, the whole nine. All right. And I offer that to anyone that wants it. Okay, now you guys. Oh, no, if you had...
We were just
I didn't want to call you out in class, but if you wanted to say something, you could.
We were just talking kind of off topic, but at the same time, on just generalization of what can be done.
My kids had blueberry pancakes.
Generalization of what can be done?
For him. For Mike. As to what he wanted.
Do you guys have syrup?
Like for...
Hey, I never got my coffee today.
Okay.
For his artwork.
For Jenkin?
Yeah.
What kind of art do you do?
And
Yeah, I'm freehand. Like superheroes and character stuff.
He would have a portfolio if he had an online account.
Well, I got my art book at your place.
I know you do.
Watching him work is interesting, too. It's just, there's no, draw a circle, this over here, cross, hatch that over there. It's just picture.
You do it by hand?
Yeah.
Out of your head? You don't
Freehand.
from another picture or just out of your head?
Yeah,
It's like watching,
or I can copy something.
it's like watching a dot matrix printer work.
That is the part I could never do. Sorry about that. I need you. I have to look at something to draw it.
My art teacher, Mr. Cody, would like to see my works in comic books. I actually tried to cement some stuff.
Oh, there it is.
But it didn't work out right. And I actually wound up seeing part of characters I drew years ago in one of their Marvel comics. Cool. Like somebody just found it accidentally and started to see what they could use from it.
So our last, just one sugar, please. Our last meetup was just me and Jason. So basically, it was a whole lot of me bitching and saying, "Hey, get off your ass and do that thing." It was basically his therapy session, which is why we called it "Fuck You, Mom."
Wow.
Hey, go do the shit. Get an online portfolio. You got talent, use it. And I might bug you later for commission. As in, I will pay you to draw things I want. Because it's really hard to go, "Hey, artist, for exposure." Thank you. There it is.
Art for exposure? Are you offering exposure?
No. I mean, I can expose myself. I suppose that's one form of trade. It is another form of
Well,
prostitution.
Lisa Spoon would work as censorship.
That's true. So, I would love to see your work, and other people should go see your work. if they could.
Once we get it set up, I'll make sure to have a website for him.
Any progress with you, Jason?
Not really. I'm just sick of my job.
Did you go to case manager and all the psycho-y babble stuff last time?
No, I did not. I was. I did. I spoke with the pastor at the church to try and get assistance with paying the rent for this month. He wants me to fill out another application for assistance. Because of the fact that I have dropped so low in income that I need to get another assessment.
Yes.
In order to be able to help you. Okay.
Please do that.
And then he wants me to join a Bible study group.
Well, yeah.
Lovely.
Just be polite.
I know. That's basically what I always do.
You're on CareSource? Your insurance?
I'm trying to get back onto it because October was the deadline where I have to reapply.
So a friend of mine.
You should
just real quick.
Yeah.
CareSource is being phased out officially as of the first of the year.
Well, fuck.
Statewide. However, United Healthcare Community Plan, which is a Medicaid.
Is it pretty
plan.
comparable?
What's that?
Is it pretty comparable?
Yeah.
It's better.
Okay.
And that's they're the ones that do that.
My chiropractor did say something about them accepting a little bit more, but more people were accepting CareSource, and it was kind of automatic. They just signed me up for it.
Well, how would you go about applying for that? Is it
open enrollment?
No, you just go and say, I want United Health Community Plan instead of CareSource.
It's still through like Job and Family?
Yeah. You do the Medicare application, you get that, and then within a month's time, you have to pick one of the plans, right? If you were already on something before, like you still had an account, if you don't elect something, it'll go to whatever you had before. Okay. So you have to fill out a form. But
I already put in an application; it's still pending.
Yeah, you just check a box.
Piece of information: a friend of mine is having a hell of a time getting rides to where her appointments are, particularly because some are in Cleveland and some are in Conneaut.
Yeah.
CareSource offers rides. I'm not sure if they would go to Conneaut, but it wouldn't hurt to call. So you are mobilely challenged.
Yeah.
United Health does. Okay. United Health has taken me as far as they.
You might want to speed it up a little bit because then you can also get rides to your appointments. She didn't know that, and I thought I would just let people know that.
Yeah,
they'll help you with rides to your appointments.
You just have to give them 48 hours notice, and
that's the same thing with the dial ride.
The downside is, if you're having a procedure done, and the driver has to stay there with you, you have to call them 3 days in advance because it has to be a paramedic that goes with you.
Wait, see, she's much more experienced in this. A friend of mine has all kinds of fucking problems. She has an old injury she never got fixed, and she's a single mother doing the 3-job thing and whatever, and the injury came back and she has been out of work, and she has no idea how to navigate that stuff.
She should, honestly, file for disability. Can work while she's filing.
I know. At the current, temporarily, she's unable to work right now. But I'm going to scooch off of that just because I don't want to blow up her shit too much. But hey, Dave, I haven't seen you in, decades.
The last time we saw each other was, Ready Player One.
I would like to introduce you to Dave. He is the man when we had a porn party whipped me with a dildo.
Yes. Was it across the face?
Get kicked out of.
Ryan, you seem to forget that we've all been on the 48 together.
You weren't the only one.
Oh yeah, I did forget that. It wasn't the last time. No, I didn't say it was the last time. That's just one of my most memorable instances with it. All those pictures are lost to MySpace, too.
Yeah.
You had a porn party on your MySpace. Wait, now what does that consist of? Was that wrestling?
He hung his wife's lingerie on the ceiling fan.
That was the second one.
Yeah, that was the second.
Oh.
It was Corn and Chicken based off of a crappy made-for-TV Comedy Central movie.
I can't find that movie anymore.
Doesn't exist. They've scrubbed it.
Yeah.
It was
Comedy Central's first original movie.
And they tried to...
Is that a mozzarella cheese?
Yeah, it's like grilled cheese, but with cheese sticks.
They used to do that
it's cheap and terrible for you.
I used to do it every year.
What is it?
I think I went to 2 of them.
Did you? Yeah,
there were only
big in colleges.
There were only about 3 though.
We personally only did 2. The second one flopped. Couldn't get people to do porn lines.
Wait,
We turned off the sound on a porn, and then we turned on a mic, and people were supposed to redub their own.
We
stuff.
were working with analog technology. I found out that if you took your camcorder and plugged it into the VCR, like how you're going to feed it into the TV, would only use the video side and put the audio in. Well, now you just got a mic, and we would record while putting the video
with a
of the porn
VHS
in,
tape,
and we'd be sitting around the camcorder saying the lines.
okay.
So basically, we're terrible people.
Don't let them take any.
What was that?
I don't know about that.
The first one was pretty fun because people really got into it, and it was only a handful of people. And
Which
we
takes
showed
on
up
a whole
in
different meaning in
costumes,
this
and we were having dick fights.
What?
Dildos.
Yeah, you know
Oh
how
my
people,
gosh, oh
people
my
have
gosh.
noodle wars with the pool noodles.
Yeah.
Well, just think about that, but with the extremely long dildos.
Oh my gosh. So,
Most people usually do that with a strap on.
after
Dave, we never actually found out if you do anything recently.
No. Aside from, no, not recently.
What you do for work?
When I got your sound bite and all that. No, when I
Oh, that feels like an intro. Like,
What
hey,
I
what's up, from Andre Gator?
Yeah, that way every month we don't have
What
a
I
comment.
normally
we
do
do lots of rituals.
Oh, I blew it.
no, I do.
I need a mulligan.
Like commission writing type stuff.
Oh wait,
So like what I pretty much like what I do is there's a few websites, I won't name them because I don't want to get involved in naming them. But there's a few websites where, they essentially like having people who can do like ghostwriting different types of advertisements or different types of this, different types of that.
is it basically like copywriting?
No, not quite copywriting. It's more like you need a review for something, or say different like a new app that came out, or a new this that came out, or a new that came out. I do that.
Okay.
It fulfills my needs.
Anything interesting recently?
Anything interesting? No, not really. I've been.
Mom did go to bed without watching Boys.
Yeah, she did do that. That was odd. But I did also.
I feel like it was only a woman that would ever have said that at all.
Your mom went to it without watching The Voice.
Any comment about The Voice? Period.
Well, it's her favorite show.
It's a show I can't break out of.
It's
You can't break her off.
I'm
No
close
No matter
to
how much
Dave's
you lock her in
mom.
a cage and like
No,
spank her with newspaper, you
I'm
can't.
close
Like,
to Dave's mom, so
Bad dog.
That didn't work
No,
out. Thank you.
no, I've tried to like show her like all the different things she can be watching. Like
That's
it's like she has access
It's
to
all right.
Netflix.
I'm the one who forgot in the first place.
Heck, she has access to Disney Plus now.
wow.
And
She opts
all
for
these
The
different
Voice.
things, and she's watching The Voice.
Good. Let me know how Mandalorian goes.
I
It's
left
a
the
great
cord at
show.
home. We were most
It's
of the way
Holding a
back.
dildo. Run for it.
I did I just did the
you put
7-day
this in
demo
there?
just to watch
I'm
all
not
of
gonna be able to
Simpsons
use it.
and then cancel it. Oh well, they have Spider-Man Unlimited on there.
They do. They do. That was a really, really good
It's
show.
a 7-day free trial of Disney Plus.
Had The Simpsons?
Oh,
They own The
Fox.
Simpsons?
Fox is owned by Disney now.
They own Fox.
Yep.
They're still keeping Hulu as a
You
separate
didn't see
platform.
the
but they own Hulu too.
Yeah, they're using that to their advantage though, because now you get Hulu with Disney Plus.
You can buy a bundle.
But
No,
see,
it's
No, you don't get them together. I mean, you can get them together, but you can buy just Disney Plus.
yeah.
and Verizon's getting it out for free
the,
for a year.
the Simpsons had their own little joke that says, "Welcome Disney."
I need to go bug him. That's who my phone
Put your
number is,
ears
Verizon.
on. I don't want to. Put your ears on.
Here's the problem though. They
I was.
they're canceling like all the different shows that they have that are not like
Family
okay,
Guy?
Marvel for instance. All the different Marvel shows. You see, have the Marvel shows on
Yeah, Netflix or
Netflix,
Disney was
they
letting all
had
the
a-
Marvel licenses expire,
exactly.
so they can put them on their own platform.
And they've
I
had,
heard that was happening.
and they've had some pretty good shows. Like they had the
Daredevil.
they had Daredevil too. But yeah, even just going Netflix, they had
Okay.
oh god, I heard okay. They had Cloak and Dagger on Freeform. Which is
Cloak
also
and Dagger,
yeah, Cloak and Dagger.
like the old movie with.
and then they also had
No, the
Mutants.
mutants one.
Oh,
yeah, and then they also had
Spider-Man series.
Runaways, which is on
yeah.
Hulu.
Runaways.
And both Cloak and Dagger and Runaways canceled. Now, Runaways has its final season coming up like in a day or two, or it might have already been released, I don't know. But, they have the crossover that people were begging for between Cloak and Dagger and Runaways in this season of
It's
Runaways.
like a no-brainer. I feel like they even did that. They did that in the comics.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like they did
in the comics,
too.
Yeah. I mean, essentially
Good
speaking,
series. I saw 'em.
yeah, I mean, it's good show, good quality television, but here's the thing. It's not something that's like on strictly Disney. Even Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're canceling that with this upcoming season.
No, I'm down with. They still got the CW shit, and I'm down. The last episode I'll probably ever watch is the Kingdom Come one coming up.
Oh, yes.
Every motherfucking actor that's ever been involved in anything DC is trying to stick them there.
Well, even the ones that they've got coming up.
Kevin Conroy is actually playing a Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Bird Ward.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have it.
Now, in DC's streaming service, they have the show coming up next year, Stargirl. And she's going to make her appearance, not on the DC streaming service, but in the crossover event.
Stargirl? Wasn't she already in?
She was in Smallville.
Same. But there was a Stargirl in Legends.
There might have been a Stargirl in Legends for the JSA episode.
I understand.
But she's getting her own TV show. The one that,
Is it the same girl?
I don't think so. It's like a new person getting a costume and powers and whatnot, and she will be making her premiere in the crossover event. I don't know what kind of premiere. I don't know if it's
She inherited something that's way beyond her level of responsibility, and is a teenager, and they like to juxtapose the two.
Oh yeah. And I don't know if this. I mean, I doubt she's going to be there for long. It's quick flash of seeing her. The Titans from the DC streaming service.
You know what? I just got DVDs out of the library for that, and now I'm actually watching. It's not as shitty as people are making it out. And I have no idea why people are so pissy about the Black Starfire.
No, it's a great show.
I got it. I bought the first season, and I liked it. I liked all the characters. The only one
people were really bitchy about the Black Stargirl, and I could really watch it.
I like the actress.
Not Stargirl, Starfire, without looking at it and going, this is just a whole shitload of closet racism.
Yes, this is racism.
And normally I wouldn't say that because people could bitch at it. No, it's loyal to the comics, but this case, come on, man.
Well,
Dick Grayson wasn't even comic loyal. He came basically out of the Nolan verse, that version.
I'll say this. Normally, I'm the first person to say, "Hey, that character doesn't look at all like the character is in the comics," but she's an amazing Starfire.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think all the characters themselves are actually pretty amazing.
I'm digging the Raven. I think she does it really fucking well. I'm 5 or 6 episodes in, so I haven't gotten all the way through the first.
That's the funny thing.
I like the Doom Patrol. The only thing they did different was the girl that could turn into a giant and stuff like that, to change her into something else. But the one thing I always found interesting is seeing where these actors are from, because Raven and Robin are one's from UK, the other one's from New Zealand. So I find that
the reason for that. New Zealand is extremely fucking cheap to film at. When Disney bought Power Rangers for a while, they immediately moved the entire cast over to New Zealand. Plus, they have all those cliffs that are easy to splice in with the Japanese footage of cliffs.
Mm-hmm. I'm shaking my head big time right now because of all that.
Japan is an island. Japan, when they do a lot of the big explosion monster battle scenes, not the super big monster, but when they're still normal size, they like to go into big old quarries or cliffs or whatnot, so that they don't have issues with exploding people and things.
Well, what you kind of have to remember is that I don't know, maybe probably almost over a decade now, they did a spoof back when they had the back when they brought back Tommy from the Power Rangers.
Diamond Thunder?
Yeah, thank you. That one.
Dude, I am a goddamn Power Rangers nerd.
I can tell.
It's my jam.
Yeah, they had that episode where they actually showed them watching footage of the Japanese version.
Oh shit! I forgot. Not a work shirt.
And it's entirely different. I don't know if you've ever watched the Japanese version.
I've seen some of them.
I watched only the Sentai version of what became the first Power Rangers. I'm waiting until they get the what became the shitty Super Mega Force, because I have it on my computer pirated and the subtitles won't come in. I can't understand what they're saying. It is so much. We were
why you should have
that was new.
That's why you should have learned Japanese when I was.
Hey, so I have a really hard time learning other languages.
I know, it's the only reason
I
you
took
brought
3
me.
years of French and can't speak dick of it.
Well, at least you understand it.
I can say my name is, and that's it.
Well, I understand. I took a couple of years of German. All the German words, in terms of me actually being able to speak it, entirely gone. So I
You
speak
can't
German
say
in front of
Shyster
me.
anymore?
I can.
I mean,
I heard
Shizer.
Shite is.
I can say a couple swear words in French.
I remember Shite mostly because the German teacher I think I had was just.
You didn't have patience.
She was a smoking hot. I can't really say. I guess cougar. I'd have to say because she doesn't have kids. So.
Back in that day, that didn't have the definition. You're like, now she's like, oh yeah, she fucked
Yeah.
young people. Got it.
Did you teach her all the dirty words first?
We had a guy show up that was an artist that was well known in Madison once for a. He was a substitute, but he's a World War II vet, so he actually served over there and learned French and German. He just came in for one day to be a subtitle, all the swear words and left. He like walks in as like the cool teacher, drops the mic, merde, and just walks out the door.
That's good teaching.
Really good. He was well known in that little town because he did wood sculptures with like the chainsaws, and they were at every school. And he donated part of his property to be a baseball field for the Little League. So, interesting dude. Had a life.
So that's serious.
But
Thank you very much.
I'm pretty sure he's passed by now. He'd be over 100.
Thank you also very much.
And please have more Richard.
They also taught us Fuqua.
Coffee what?
What?
Fuqua.
I would say Fuqua.
Fuqua is just how you say fuck you. Marital shit.
私のチンポコは大好きよ。
Tentacles?
Almost.
Uh-huh. If there's anything swear word with Japanese, I'm assuming it just came out of hentai. You see some sick shit at night at a loud time. Good luck, Aaron.
Like what?
Hand check.
They love doing the panels about freaking people out, and all the hentai panels like take in the gay, porn ones that are extremely graphic, like wine bottles and things you don't want.
Yeah, and my favorite part was walking and attendants walking in and yelling to the crowd, "Hand check!"
They fucking did that when I was in Amsterdam at a sex show. Like the people I was with. It was a bus trip of people that were 18 to 35, and I was 26. I was probably the oldest person there. And I kept doing hand check, looking for people to have boners. Of course, the one guy's like, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? I swear to God, it's like
Wait, hand check
big
to make
muscle
sure you're
guy.
not
It's
wanking?
like a bed that's spinning on the stage, right? And the couple gets up there, and the dude's like going at her, and then I swear to God, he hands him, and he's still going in and out. I'm like, how the fuck are you doing that? He's basically doing dick ups.
I guess you can really only do one, right?
God, no, this man did a lot of them. I was amazed. I was too spellbound to be aroused. I was scientifically like, how is this possible? Where is gravity? All that I know about the world is wrong.
Is this real life?
Wham. Oh. Hey, Dave, you should travel some. You find interesting things in the world.
I wish I just deal with fucking travel.
My boss, my match,
Did
damn.
you see that article on
This year.
Facebook?
Yeah, don't ever ask people what they do in Amsterdam. When you come back from Amsterdam,
Yeah, I'm
it's
hearing
rude
two
to
things at
ask what you did in Amsterdam. That's why all the tours end there. And afterwards.
Keep that in mind.
Amsterdam.
All what tours?
I asked my friend, I asked him that. What'd you do?
Legalized prostitution. It did have legalized weed, but they're starting to.
They're cracking down on Americans.
They are because Americans are being assholes. So.
Yeah.
For the Amazon.
Right when I got there, they had illegalized officially mushrooms.
Okay.
They were technically illegal, but
Working
nothing
is
anyone did
40-hour
anything
work
about,
weeks.
so they were starting to
I
actually.
would love to
enforce
go.
it.
Yeah, I can't be away from families for that long. I can't be away from the kids that long. 40 hours a day for New Zealand.
Not a day, 40-hour work weeks.
You know what I mean? But still, you're there. That's still 5 hours. You're still there.
Your French work
constantly.
week is 35 hours, mandatory. You are not allowed to work overtime, and you get like a month of vacation automatically through the government.
In New Zealand?
France.
Oh, okay.
They're not the most productive countries. Imagine that.
Sweden, I think, has something like that, too.
I was listening to the radio the other day. I heard the racist hiring a whole bunch of people.
Imagine that. Maybe if they stop firing people for being honest. Of course, I did say I picture murdering my coworkers. So, Eli's dad got walked out a week later
Really?
for the same thing.
Just running his mouth?
He was making a joke about harming his coworkers,
Uh-huh.
and they booted him out the door.
Natural.
Oh, they're gonna know, man.
So we fell into nerdery. Aaron, I'm going to scoot to you real quick just to ask of your quick currents. Anything you want people to know about? You're in?
No, I'm not in anything right now, but like I said, I've been cursing at my animation program trying to get it to work.
Have you done animation in any of your stuff before?
Yeah. Remember that Guess Who trailer? That logo, the way that it spun around.
Oh, okay.
That
I was thinking like
I animated.
older school animation.
No, I'm not doing.
I get what you mean, though.
I'm not doing animation like that. I'm just doing simple animatics, and arrow goes this way, and that goes over there.
Andre, what's your currents? What you got going on, man?
Not much right now. Just auditioning and doing extra work.
I will tell you what I told Aaron because it's secret knowledge, but of course it's being recorded now. So grants. I've been going through lots of them trying to find them. This is off season to actually get grants, but it's a fine season to find out what they are and set yourself up. A lot of grants are through these paid databases, and then one of the biggest one is called the Foundation Center. You have to pay to get access to that database to find out about these grants.
Yeah.
Unless
Go downtown.
you go to Morley Library in Painesville, which is only one of the only places in this part of the state that you can access that for free. Thank you. So, and I'm not a filmmaker, but there was a whole crap load of coming across that were filmmakers.
Yeah, it was blowing up my Facebook messages with it, like, bling, bling, bling.
Basically, what I say you do is you go there and you get into the database and you get as much information, like links to their website, and then go home and do the actual filling out the applications. So you can get as much info to hit up later, because the application part takes forever.
That's always the worst.
And I have a few projects that if I have a crowdfunding campaign right now through IOBY
Yes.
to try to get a printer for our books.
You get IOB funding out there where you live?
They are working with me for a crowdfunding campaign. OhioCon gave me $100, Aaron.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and she said if it was able to extend the campaign to the end of January, they could have given me $300.
From OhioCon?
Yep,
For what?
my printer crowdfunding.
Oh, because you were printing stuff for them.
No, for the books.
Oh, okay, now
The
I get it.
Beautiful Blasphemy books that I
Okay,
made. Now,
I'm back on the same page.
when, if, blah, blah, it gets funded, I have a couple of pet projects that have a social justice bent to them. Now, I am a white, straight, cis dude, so I am not the person to tell these stories, but I am great at gathering the information.
Okay.
So, one, I had a black musician online make the Facebook comment that black people don't really talk much about mental illness or other things like autism. So I straight up asked her, okay, so tell me. And I feel like that's probably a pretty common thing, and I happen to know quite a few black people that have had mental illnesses out in the Ashtabula way. I would like to get some stories.
Okay.
But I want to work with people that actually have relevance to that, which is not me. And the other one, I have a trans friend at All Access, Christy. We're having some random conversation, and she said something about in the hormone process of transitioning, she's sterile now. She can't have children.
Yeah.
Never would have occurred to me. So it's like, and then it occurred to me that I don't know shit about trans people. I probably know plenty about gay people because, well, one, my brother, but also, media. You tend to get a pretty firm idea of what's...
If you want trans, there was a friend of mine that went through that. She's really nice.
And that's what I want. I want eyewitness accounts. Basically what it is, I wanted to call it the trans manual. The front it's a flip book. Like you flip it over, it's two different books in one. First is male to female, the back is female to male. And it's a list of 6, I think I put, different things to expect when you're transitioning. So let's say you're a person who just came out as trans and you want to know what to expect before you have to go through the process. Or let's say you're like me and don't know shit about it and you just want to kind of understand what the hell happens. So I'm looking for frank conversations from those people. Tell me, they would be like, what happens to you physically, sexually, spiritually is one of them, family, social. Frank, just tell me what happens, and you can use whatever language you want. I would get maybe a dozen at least people, each of them giving all of those things, and then I pick one of each person for each of those things. And then in the middle, of course, would be a little guide to pronouns section, because that's for both.
Yeah.
I could probably get that funded just from the LGBT centers. What I really want to do is, if it's a popular thing, is put together packages that I could send to other cities with some kind of kickstart funding, $100 or so. They can print their own copies and distribute them.
Okay.
Which would take a bigger funding source than just
Sure.
this. But I'd like to get it off the ground, see if it's a useful thing. and then have it something that's available to other cities. And I need to do the Amazon thing too. Josh is gonna.
Like work at Amazon?
No, Amazon's Create Space. I can't fucking get my book files to work properly. I would like to get them up on Kindles at least, so people can have them for free nationwide.
Oh, Kindle Plus.
Or e-readers or whatever.
Like anybody.
This is mine,
That's
right?
what I hear.
A couple drinkers.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Yep. But it will be the packaged Starbucks stuff.
You looking up OhioCon? Yep. It's an anime convention. There's a shit ton of voice actors there. In fact, one of the two guys that started it is a voice actor.
Yeah.
He doesn't run anything anymore, but he's still there.
Yeah.
I know Stephanie. She's from Cleveland, and she's running the sound checks now. She got promoted. I'm like, oh, no player harp.
All right. So today's topic was going to be
Checks on the
It
beat.
Came from Behind the
I'm
Counter.
taking my medicine.
It came from behind me.
You do not have to make that title. Usually we just pick a title out of something stupid we
that you were
say.
asking for. It's right over there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So basically retail and service industry stories.
Yeah, but saying it came from behind the counter makes me think of when I filled up the shake machine and actually wouldn't let me use it because it was my last week. And I
I
tried to
thought
do
that was me. Well,
You
he
wanted
also did
me
that
to.
because I made direct comments that I was going to hump the shake machine.
I know, and I went to go do it, and she's like, "Nope, I'm doing it."
I would have really liked
I was going to do the
to-
lick the hand, slap the machine.
I would have liked to have been there for that because
My actual last day when I just dropped someone's food.
and laughed at him.
Me too. I was in a hurry. I turned around to hand someone their food out the window and dropped it. It fell right out of my hands directly down. But all this person saw was me turn around and go, and turn around and go ask them to make a new one. You just saw me run away. Oh, I turned around right away to tell the people, I need another one of those. It's on the ground. With the goddamn motherfucking skunk.
And then you ate the one that was in the drive-thru after they left.
All right. So one of my retail stories, I could tell my quarter scam. How I walked out of there with about $10 extra every day.
Well, yeah, but that was taking advantage of setting aside quarters for a certain customer who wanted
It
to stay
was.
quarters.
It was a scam, but then I kept the money.
Or the statute of limitations up.
But yeah, oh god, yes. You know how many crimes I've committed? I probably admitted to ones that aren't.
Yeah, we're on 16 years.
It's like 7.
No, it's been 16 years.
I know, but statute of limitations is like 7.
Oh yeah, I know. But I'm saying
Anyways,
that we're on
so-
16 years.
When you go to a drive-thru, right, and you give them their cash and they hand you back the change, you don't ever count your fucking change. No one does. So let's say your change is 25 cents. I'm going to hand you 2 dimes and not a quarter. And keep a nickel. And ultimately, throughout the day, that peaks up to a quarter. Well, the reason the quarters are up there is because there's a guy that comes in and wants all those state quarters.
Okay.
So we put them up there in saving form, and he gives quarters to go back in the register, the regular ones. Except the quarters that I've been sitting up there aren't count, or the registers count anymore because I gypped customers on their change. So that when he did his quarter thing, I put them in my pocket. You seen Office Space? It's basically like that penny scam.
But it works.
It's extremely sad and pathetic.
I thought it was interesting the one time we were working at
Why did we not get fired from there? We sexually harassed the managers. We constantly swore and talked about violent video games.
Well,
That was me.
I handed my notice in, and he's like, "I'm not hiring him back." I'm not coming back.
Oh, I quit 3 times. I quit once to work here. It did not work out.
when
The only tip I got that was good was from a gay guy hitting on me.
Well, you gotta wear bicycle shorts.
I was training.
I'll bet you were.
Training my sphincter. You know I'm terrified of dick. Thank you.
Oh, we'll tell Dick next time.
No, actually, it's mostly just his. And so I did that comedy bit finally. Oh, God, did it flop.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Well, because it ends talking about your dick.
Oh,
And, like, I mean, let's be honest, man. If I had a dick like yours, I'd put it up in, like, my bathroom. It'd be, like, the balls right in front of the seat, and then it would just wrap around, like, connected frames throughout the whole room. Like, you'd walk in one day, and one frame would be cockeyed, you'd be like, oop, Peroni's. See, and that's why I thought it might work, but it's only Aaron that laughs at it. But it also starts, I'm like, because I usually do poetry. When I go up, you guys want to hear some comedy? You guys want to hear some comedy? So my uncle shot himself in the head last year.
well, technically that is comedy. It's dark comedy.
It is, but no one laughed.
Yeah.
And then I told the story about the one that I robbed him. Good thing my mother doesn't listen to this.
Yeah, that's like
Isn't that what you just-
Bobby Slayton and Amazing Jonathan type stuff. Circa 1993.
I don't remember.
I'm guessing you've worked customer service before.
My friend did. He was working on a drive-thru, and this guy made him mad, so mad that he refused to deliver his food to him. He sat at the drive-thru window for almost a half an hour, and he finally gave him his food. Guy drove away angry. I'm like, okay, because I came into work and stuff was going on. I'm like, we had a lot of fun too there too. But
Jason, you want to retell the chicken shelf story?
Yeah, that show actually didn't say for this episode.
It's the name of our first episode.
I know.
Shelf.
And I was thinking that I was thinking of the title that it actually should have been Chicken of the Shelf.
Chicken up the shelf?
Ah, too
The
wordy.
play on Chicken of the
Chicken
Chicken
Shelf
of
is
the
funny.
Sea.
Or Children of the Corn?
No, it's Chicken of the Sea from
Oh, yeah.
It's a play on that.
Aaron just got to the part in the last podcast where I suddenly figured out the name of his movie.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I sent him a message. I'm like, you guys spent 3 minutes trying to figure out the reason for missing?
Yep.
Just hearing that. I never knew. I guess we'll never figure out why the eye is missing. I was missing. Oh my god.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
You watched us have basically a moron epiphany. Well, you listened to us have a moron epiphany. I'm like, wow, I'm retarded.
Yeah, I tell myself that a lot.
You got any new stories? Old job stories?
Well, let's see. I do. I mean, I have a lot of retail stories from my experiences, which is just horrible. Well, I was working over at I accidentally got them scammed out of like $40 because the guy would come in, he would ask for change for, he was like, can you break this, and give me the money back, and then you break this and break this, and so he was doing that scam, and I completely fell for it because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so I was like, yeah, sure, okay, and just gave him the $40, and it's like, oh, I feel stupid. But
You get fired for that.
no,
Okay.
because they kind of knew what was going on. I think they've dealt with
They
the guy
like helped
before.
knew who the guy was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we understand, whatever. But there was another time during that I practically did get sort of fired / quit
Sort of fired / quit.
because of the fact that I was secret shopped,
Oh.
and
And you were just terrible at your job.
I did everything that I was supposed to. I greeted them. I offered a sale or whatever. I gave them whatever they needed.
Warm beverage?
Not really. It was just doing everything by the book.
Come on, man. I put the chicken back.
No, this is a gas station. Well, I mean, they do have.
Come on, man. I put the cigarettes back.
Yeah.
I smoked 2 or 3.
Offer them candy.
Yeah. Well, the guy was buying cigarettes, so you offer the lighter as well. So it's like, okay, I
Oh,
was
you
doing
trying to
it.
upsell them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But due to the fact that I didn't look him in the eyes enough times, it's like that he kind of got offended.
How long ago was this?
Oh, this was years ago.
I was gonna say, if this was this year, you literally just tell them, yeah, I'm autistic.
Yeah.
And they give you a fucking award.
Yeah, because I mean, in a way, I kind of do feel I have a very hard time looking people in the eyes.
It's a really common autism
Yeah,
symptom.
it's one of the symptoms, but I guess you can consider it being a functional autistic.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that I don't display all of the symptoms.
Okay.
But anyway, the manager actually called me into the office. It was little, really small girl. She calls me into the office and she breaks down in tears because of the fact that I did everything wrong for the secret
Why
shop.
the fuck do people care that much about those shit jobs? And why was I not fired for not giving a shit about those shit jobs?
Because you didn't care. When you give that opinion, again, if you want to go back to Office Space, that's a pretty accurate representation.
Yeah, like
What did I say about I sent for 2 years going, look, I'm out of here the first chance I get. Oh, do you want to learn this? No, because you're going to take me right off. I think you should train people. That's how my last 2 years were there.
we're gonna give you promotions because you don't give a shit.
It was the last year, not the last 2.
No, it started the last
Okay.
2.
Did you ever work any customer service jobs? Ooh, was it the one we worked at?
No, the one at the other side of 306.
Oh, you wait. The guy owns both of those, doesn't he?
Yes.
All right, never mind.
They borrowed from us a lot.
Oh, we could tell a story about Denny's borrowing.
Yeah.
It's actually already on the podcast before.
Yeah, you got
Was
a
it?
story, Dave?
Doesn't mean Dave doesn't have a story to tell.
Not true one. Just there was this one time. You know how Saturdays were where Saturday mornings, we're rush job. People keep coming in
And then dies at a drop of a hat.
Yeah, and dies a drop of a hat. Well, there was this one guy. He was there with his kids or whatever. They were sitting down inside, and he kind of kept coming back again and again, keep on saying, like, oh, I never get my order, He was getting his order,
3 or 4 times.
Right? And by the time that probably caught on, like the last time or so, we were like, okay, well,
Go bring us the food back. Or something.
Did you have the spiderweb tattoo right here?
No. Okay. Well, the cook got so frustrated, he gave him the order, but he put on like the spiciest sauces, etc. Just some things that had no business having these sort of spicy sauces on.
Here's your milk. Here's your milkshake. Extra sauce.
And he didn't come back again.
Good for you.
Just too busy on the can.
Brittainy, you got a story?
I have a couple. Probably the funniest was when I was going to school in Texas. I went to school at a very, very large school, and being poor, I went to school on a partial scholarship. But I had a kid, had a family, so before I went to class every morning, I got to get my happy self up at 4 o'clock to be at there was
Starbucks is one of the circles of hell, right? It's like Walmart's down here, and then there's Starbucks.
this has
Disney.
this has its own circle. I came into work one morning. Most of the kids were nice, but it was one morning. I was coming into work. Now, mind you, I had to leave my house every morning at 4:12, not 4 o'clock, not 4:15, 4:12 to get from my home to where I worked on campus, which was 7 minutes away, to avoid collisions, which was awful. But there was no one on the roads. No one. They'd shut down the city. And I'm looking around, and I blocked out the morning. It wasn't that chilly. I was in jeans and long sleeve shirt, had my uniform on, had my book bag ready to go to school, had my kid, put her in the car, get there, get pulled over on the way there to inform me that they were getting ready to close down the highways because they'd gotten a dusting of snow. And I told them, I'm going to school. And they said, well, get there safely. I'm like, okay, I'm from Northeast Ohio. I am aware of...
snow is. It exists.
I am aware of what this alien creature is that is baffling you. But I get there, and they had given students the option of attending class that day.
So nobody showed up.
A great deal of people did, because this was...
I wouldn't have said
okay. I went to... It was a very prestigious school. This lady comes in, and it wasn't even that cold. And I walk out, and I turned on my Walkman, and I'm listening, and...
Wearing my Jordashes. My Spanx.
Spanx went around then.
Really? I don't know.
No. But...
She may have
And they're like...
Reese's too.
It's 43 degrees. Yeah, it's cold enough to leave just a little bit. All of a sudden, I open up everything, get everything in order, and hordes of girls. But they have on full-length parkas, earmuffs.
I didn't know they even had those things in Texas.
Oh, yes. Yes, they do. There are mountainous regions of Texas.
I'm just going to interrupt to make that one comment real quick. So, I work lots of customer service jobs, and I learned a long time ago that if you just, sneak in and go, it's all right, man, the camera saw all that anyways. Customers usually shut the fuck up. I did that recently at East Grace, actually thinking there were cameras everywhere, and the IT person said, fuck no. There's a camera anywhere. So I would just go around telling people. I knew that eventually, and I just go, I'm like, that's all right, man, the camera saw all that anyways.
If you work in a porn store, that does not happen. They assume that only the camera pointed at the cash register and the door are the ones that work.
Wait, did you work in a porn store?
Yes.
That's a fucking better story. Oh, that's how I met Reese. In a porn store.
That's how you originally met me.
Oh, you weren't the one I was in there and asking advice about the dicks for the dick fight. I went in to get supplies for that porn industry party, and I'm like, hey, I need the biggest, cheapest dildos you got. And then I was telling this clerk behind the counter what they were for. Was
it a guy?
No, it was a woman. Because this was how she ran into me it was like 5 years later, and I was in college. And I ran to her in college, and she's like, "Are you the guy that bought the 2 dicks for the dick fight?" I'm like,
yeah,
yes.
We talked about that. I was
She
downstairs.
fucking remembered me.
I was downstairs because anytime we had movies come in, we had to screen them.
I want that job.
No,
What? Why do you have to screen them?
you have to screen them to make sure there's nothing illegal, that they play all the way through.
They did a terrible job because I bought some 48-hour disc compilations from them. No, they don't play.
Yeah, no one's sitting there watching 48 Hours. They put it on in the background of the store and wander around the store doing shit.
Yeah. But you have to make sure there's nothing illegal.
It sneaks in that 5 minutes of grandpa.
But
Jason's gonna get another shower.
that
Make sure to move out of the way.
You know, given that this is all audio and that's all you hear, you don't know what you mean by that.
Oh, Jason's gonna get a shower from
and
brother.
the disc, if they're discs, they play all the way through. There were only certain ones we only had to watch, thankfully, once.
Was it Stump Humpers?
No.
Because that freaked me the fuck out, and I just looked at the package.
It was the Paris tape.
Oh, One Night in Paris.
Yeah, One Night in
What?
Paris.
I mean,
Free job, but you could screen American Porn Story.
I have
Oh, I used to have that poster.
seen virtually
Big knobs and boomsticks.
every type of film that is legal and can be sold in the U.S. And then after that,
We have the Canadian porn. It's all hockey porn.
I
No, they
got
apologized through the whole
to
thing.
Ooh, I'm
put
sorry.
it
Ooh,
back
I'm
in the
sorry.
box, rewind it. Had to rewind it. If it was a VHS tape, I had to rewind it, put it in the box, make sure the box didn't rip. I had to seal it airtight. I had to figure out what genre it came from.
They gave me all the one of each of those genre stickers, and to this day, they're still on all the art bins in my bedroom that my son looks at all the time.
Yep.
Daddy, what's anal?
You'll find out later.
That's what you are.
No, if he was anal, he wouldn't be here.
There were a few that we had a tote, one of those big 100-gallon totes behind the desk, that every day our boss would come in and look at us and go, "You stock this today?" Oh, we're like, "No."
I totally thought she was going to say it was like the lube spittoon or something. 100-gallon tote.
Why is there a loop spittoon?
I mean,
You
they're
haven't,
just
you haven't seen the fake ejaculation videos where they have the tub? They're pumping it?
genres.
I haven't seen those. What the fuck are you watching?
There's
Citizen of the internet.
there is a whole genre
I
of
just stick to
Shakespeare
magic
porn.
Shakespeare porn.
Yeah.
That actually sounds interesting. I would probably watch.
No,
It's terrible.
Rusty.
Would it be like Macbeth? Wait, would Macbeth be like porn? Everyone.
I have.
It's a whole bunch of necrophilia.
The 3 witch scene you don't want to see.
Oh God, they're grannies, aren't they?
Yep.
Gee.
Anyway,
Who's in the cauldron?
It's a bubble.
Ew. All right. Anyways, hi. I'm gonna move from that real quick. Aaron, what are your stories?
Well, most of them are foil plots, like, our dumbass napkins and stuff. The only retail I've done was Slot. After that, it was all factory because I couldn't stand the public.
You couldn't stand people.
And now here I am.
That's because no coworkers would ever do it with me. Your first factory job was with me, you dickhead.
Yeah, I know.
You followed me.
Then I followed John because he left. And then went to everybody. I'm like, hey, can you put in a word for me?
And there are stories.
So we could tell what dumbass napkins were. And we never actually did them. I just thought they were a great idea. So let's say you get that asshole customer, right?
Okay.
And you work in the drive-thru. This is your way to basically call them a dumbass without them knowing until they're far out of your view. napkins are trifold. You write dumbass under that fold, you fold it up, you put it in their bag. About halfway down the road, they're doing this jazz, and they notice you just call them a dumbass.
I would have
Or they have ink all over their face.
That too.
I had a similar trick on the side of the cup where you write the person's name on it, and you put the sleeve up just under that, right underneath the sleeve.
So like it's a bathroom like graffiti. It'd be like John, and then under the sleeve is it sucks cock. Or-
Yeah, pretty much. As long as it wasn't one of my professors or
my professors would have laughed their ass off. I had engineering professors though. They were used to dirty mouths.
as long as it wasn't one of my professors that held my scholarships
Yeah, it's important.
or department dean, things like that.
The manager, his ass I slapped.
Oh yeah.
I really should have been fired for that. I don't know why I was not fired for
In
that.
the 90s.
2000s, early 2000s.
She enjoyed it.
The
That's still a
Chick-fil-A,
window where you can get that off.
Well, no, not
the
only did you
owner of
slap her ass
Chick-fil-A
after a while.
came in.
After a while, she started growling at me. You'll know.
You were still prepubescent. You were an ugly
I know.
little troll.
I was 16. I was just.
Oh dear God,
I was
she was
still
like
short
20.
and pudgy. I was short and pudgy.
With
16.
the rat tail.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
Who's
that's
that?
terrible.
I kept that thing tucked under my hat. But
Who are you talking about?
one of the managers.
Oh yeah.
You apologize for slapping her ass, but she goes, "Yeah, at my last location, people will be coming at me with the meat tongs."
Is that what you call it?
Oh yeah, she was also the one who complained about her uterus hurting, and we'd be on the headset. She'd be like, "My uterus hurts, Mike. You want me to rub it?"
We used those goddamn headsets, and everybody in there could hear what we were saying. These goddamn motherfucking scum. We'd just be staring out the window and be like, God, that is one fat bird.
She's also the same one who I was in the back getting stuff. You were doing something else, but we all had headsets on. It was just the three of us. Somebody pulled up, and none of us were at the register to take the thing. But she took the register. I'm like, "Where are you?" She goes, "I'm in the bathroom. Go ring that up."
So you have the drive-through, and you got the first section that's sometimes open where you just give them their money. We call that the hole.
Mm-hmm.
So so often we'd have to tell Aaron to go clean his hole.
And to tell him to get his car fixed.
Get your car fixed. It wasn't related to the actual job. It was just.
I know,
No,
but it's a great
But
segue.
you'd still use the headset and be like, "Get your car fixed, get your car fixed, get your car fixed."
This motherfucker, after he was 16 or whatever, had his license. I used to pick him up for work. I'd pick him up for every goddamn thing and drive him everywhere. And then after doing this for like a year, I found out this fucker's got a car. It needed like $100 clutch. I'm like, you motherfucker. So I told every single person in that restaurant, do not talk to Aaron unless the first thing you say is get your car fixed. I did the same thing to him. He would be running an order. I would go, get your car fixed. And then I filled out a postcard and wrote, get your car fixed all over it 100 times and mailed it to him until he got this car fixed.
Can I give you our daughter's boyfriend's address so you can mail?
Does he need to get your car fixed?
No. Get yourself a car.
Get a car?
He walks.
Can I like cut and paste like pictures of cars?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a good car. Just,
Get a car. Get a car.
yeah, get a car.
You have the way that trick works though is you have to also convince every single person that knows him to not say a word to them unless they first start it with get a car.
Oh, I can
He's the manager
easily
where
do
they
that.
work.
He's his boss.
No problem.
Get a car. Get a car. Get your car fixed.
His landlord's his boss.
As I work out, you get fired and evicted on the same day. Andre, have you worked customer service?
Yes.
You got any fun stories?
Maybe. That remains to be seen. We'll see.
Okay, you're welcome to say them or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, they may be fun to me. They may not be fun to you. Let me see. I will tell you first, I usually don't have problems with the people. It's usually the people I work with or the people I work for. The public loves me.
Yeah, us was always the other way around. We were total
Yeah,
Kevin
it was
Smith people.
just
The job
that
would be great if
lady.
it wasn't for the customers. So.
It'd be great to get money if we had nobody spending money.
I don't need the goddamn money. There's a rich guy that owns this place. He's paying me shit.
So, yeah, there is the Hawkster and Universal Studios.
Yeah.
I used to work at Circuit City. in the CD department.
Another relic of the 90s, although they died way after that.
They died way after. Yeah.
Circuit City.
Circuit City.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're gold.
I mean, they used to
They're
be
trying to make a comeback.
knuckle up with Best Buy.
There's a lot of them in Kentucky.
Oh.
Down south, there's more Circuit Cities than there are Best Buys.
Okay.
Well, they're based out of VA, I think, if I recall correctly.
Out of where?
Virginia.
Yeah.
The people who would like try to wheel out giant TVs. Get any of those? Because I used to be one of those people. And we didn't do Circuit City. It was too easy to get caught. But boy, Walmart.
You're trying to wheel out big TVs?
We wheel out all sorts of shit. Are you kidding me? We fill the fucking
Just-
cart and just... Well, bear in mind-
Shoplifting and stealing, or just for the fun of like annoying people?
No shoplifting. I had a mother who was a career criminal in that, and I was a teenager, and a teenager doing that's going to get caught in 5 minutes. But your 40-year-old mom with a kid out helping her shop, nobody fucking suspects her. So yeah, you put the card and just...
They do now.
Oh yeah, now they do. Of course, they got everybody's fucking number. And Walmart pulls shady shit with... Even when they catch you, they do some stuff that's illegal too. But what you got for Circuit City?
Like a cavity search?
You did a cavity search there?
No, you said they do illegal stuff when they...
No. Oh. So,
Got me thinking you got a
Nowadays.
cavity search while working in Circuit City.
God, no, man.
We're like, what?
No. So,
What
get caught
Circuit City
shoplifting.
did you work
That's
at?
the cheeser where the story doesn't match up at all.
about a week later, you're going to get this letter that I'll tell you about from what they claim is their lawyer, telling you that you owe them a civil penalty, just a few $100. Except if you call that number, it's not a real lawyer. That's illegal. And let's say it even was legal. You paying that fine is an admission of guilt.
It's a genius scam.
And if you're a first-time shoplifter, you got to do this class that I did 3 times. It's theft prevention. Okay? I don't do that anymore, by the way, because I have a son. All right? I don't want to be in jail when my son has to come visit me. But
It's good you got your priorities in check.
yeah, I'm mentally ill. No duh. So I went to one of these fucking classes, and I'm like 30 or something, right? And there's a bunch of 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds, and some of them are like, the lady at the class is like, I'm not legally allowed to tell you what to do with that letter. So they all go out for a smoke break. I go out and go, so how many of you paid that fucking letter? And like 3 people with their hands like, you're a fucking idiot. I'm like, that's illegal. Call the number. Did you even call the number? No, they're paranoid. They're trying to recoup their costs, blah, blah, blah. They have to take you to court to make you pay that. Any civil penalty. If you don't get a fucking court summon, they can't make you pay it.
Yeah.
A criminal's a whole other story.
I mean,
But a civil penalty, you have to get a summons to court.
Wait, a civil
Which is
penalty?
why getting served summons is such a big business, and they trick you into accepting the summons, because if you're not served, you don't have to do shit.
Yeah,
That's
even
why
a-
divorcees avoid it all the time.
even a speeding ticket is a summons to court. Yeah, it's a fine, but you can
It
also
is a
go to
summons to court.
Yeah.
But that's a criminal offense, and
I'm just saying
you
that
can get criminal offenses without knowing it, too. Things like that.
I'm saying that
Have you been secretly indicted before?
No, I'm talking like speeding cameras and things like that. But yeah, so I knew that one right away, and they tried that trick on me 3 times. No, I'm not going to pay this stupid fucking thing.
Why do they want to fine you for something you didn't get away with?
Walmart's using it as a scam to try to make money off of people they caught shoplifting.
Man.
Because it does cost them a fuck ton of money for theft prevention. Because Walmart has a serious problem with it. Walmart's also one of the only fucking stores left. Of course they're going to have a problem with it. There's only 3 stores to shop at.
Mhm.
Where are you going to shoplift? One of the 3 stores? Can't steal from Amazon very well.
there's a fulfillment center right down there.
Yeah, you ever try to break into it?
Start working there.
That's true, but the robots will probably kill you when you try to steal something.
Put you in one of those little smiley boxes.
Don't open the box, my organs will spill out. All right, I want to know the Circuit City stories, though. I've talked all over yours.
So I worked here this week, and I was at going to try to see at the time. It was one in Parma, and so I don't remember exactly what it was, but I kind of hated. I liked my manager, but the guy who was like the store manager was a dick to everybody. So I think I got in trouble for being late too many times, and he called me in there, and he was just totally like dismissive about it. So I'm a smart ass, and I said something smart on film, and then we get into a debate, and I just got up at the table, and I was like, "Raw!" I'm out of this. And I ripped my shirt off and stormed out. Like there's
That's
like
the way I want to quit.
there's a long hallway, like going through an arena. Like you're going through an arena, so like I'm walking down the hall. I'm ripping the shirt off,
playing like Eye of the
and then I
Tiger.
threw it. Well, here's the thing: I had to come back to get my check, and two of my coworkers.
He's like head is down low.
No,
My check.
my coworkers knew I was coming there, so they wore red and orange and put "Welcome Back, Hawks" there.
That's a good one.
So
I want to do that.
then I moved to LA, and after being there for a little while, I got a job working at which is the theme park. So when I got hired in, I was in the HR and I was meeting with the guy, and he said, "What do you do?" And so I had a whole resume that was a crew resume. I carried my crew resume and my acting resume with me everywhere I went. So my resume, like, wow.
Like everybody who does every job in LA.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he says, "Well, do you have?" No, everybody doesn't carry it with them. People have it.
Oh, yeah, they're in their back fucking pocket, folded up.
And so he said, this guy that was a really cool Mexican guy. He's like, "So, he's like, you want to work? Yeah. You got crew experience? Yeah. What about Waterworld?" I was like, "That sounds cool. There's a Waterworld show." "Yeah, there's a Waterworld show. Can you swim?" I look and I sigh and I think, no, I can't swim, man. He says, "All right, look, I like you. Let me give you the job.
Here's some water wings.
Between you and I, nobody knows. This conversation never happened. Just don't tell anybody you can't swim." So I go to Waterworld and report for duty. And actually, there's a couple stories I just worked on. All right, so we'll finish the first one first, which is how I got hazed and dismissed. And I worked my way back around to the ghost lady at Waterworld at night. So I get there, I'm reporting, they show me around, I'm doing the job. I'm there about 2 or 3 weeks, and I didn't know they had a process of, hazing people, the new guys. So the show set up, I've never seen the movie, but the show set up where there's banditos and jet skis and all this like terror. And there's this plane that's a prop plane that you launch off of the top of the set into the water, which is 1 million gallons of water. As if that's not scary enough to a guy that doesn't swim. So one of the days I have to go out and retrieve the prop plane, which you did by getting into a motorboat. And
you over there and put a hook on it or something?
Yeah, put a hook on it and they crank it back up. So I'm with the guy that's like teaching me, who's about my size now, like really stocky dude, and was actually less gut, more muscle. So we're walking, we're talking. "Yeah, man, that's good. How's it going?" "Oh, man, everything's great." He's like, "Dude, they're coming for you." My heart is like, "What do you mean they are coming for me?" Because the stunt guys who play around on the jet ski, like, he said, "They're coming for you, man." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "They got the girl yesterday." What'd they do to the girl?" "They hosed her and wet her t-shirt." "Okay, I can take a wet t-shirt." That's not what's happening now. So they're like circling like sharks. Well, suddenly they start putting water in the boat. He's like, "Just be cool, man." I'm thinking, there's 1 million gallons of water in here. I'm about to die. On a theme based off of a horrible movie.
This is a terrible way to die.
So, and more is getting in, and so we're going down. I was like, "Be cool, be cool. Nobody knows you can't swim. They can't know you can't swim. Be cool, be cool." And so we keep closer and closer, and we're getting towards where the ramp is, where you kind of dock and get out. But in my like frenzy, I didn't realize this. So that's my heart and my pulse. Here we go. I said, "Man," I'm probably sweating and crying. Like, "I can't swim, dude. I can't swim. Save me." So we're talking. He's like, "Dude, just calm down. Be cool. Bastards." So we start pulling in. We get closer. I didn't know this. As he gets ready to step up and I kind of get ready to move, I didn't even think about it. This is happening in one move. He kind of stands up to step out, and I like go, "Woo!" and jump up into his arms. Without a thought, from sitting to like 4-foot vertical leap. So besides pre-Brokeback, I was So then, obviously, you can imagine the jig was up. I was called to the office, and they sent me packing down to the Rugrats show.
Here, put a diaper on.
So I'm working backstage with the Rugrats, and it's all about like, be careful. There's a lot of moving parts. We got to make sure we're precise, and that we don't hit anything. You don't want to be late. So everybody there has worked before, except for one dude whose uncle is somebody up in the tower, right? And said, please put little Tommy to work. He's a great boy. We love him. So this dude was totally doofus, and he's kind of arrogant because, of course, he was there by means of nepotism. So we're doing the show, and he cranks one of the actors and runs over someone's foot in the crew. Well, he can't be fired, so he blames it on me. And then I got fired from Rugrats. I got demoted to Rugrats and then fired from Rugrats.
I like that Rugrats is a demotion.
Oh, yeah. Rugrats is definitely demotion. And it was super boring. So that's that story. So then, at that time, the park is open 24/7 because there's always somebody doing something there. You know, they shoot there, and there's also maintenance and whatever else. So I discovered this when I had run out of money for sleazy motels and was out of the homeless shelter. When I got there, I knew nobody, and it was like ground zero. So I was like, oh, wait a minute. I got an idea. I can get into the park at night. It's crazy enough. It just might work. So in addition to eating people's lunches and hearing them complain about it in the daytime, and you know you're the new guy, and you're like, we never had a lunch problem before. So they're kind of side-eyeing you, but nobody can say anything. And drinking gallons and gallons of Gatorade because they had the pre-made.
Yeah, here's the free Gatorade and drink all of it. By the time you're done, you've drank the entire fucking thing. You look like the goddamn Gatorade thing. Yeah. I know. I places you get that shit away for free. Yeah, free is the only code word you need to be a glutton.
Yep.
Of course. Yeah. So I think I'm done. So I'm getting my Gatorade nutrients and finishing like odd pudding cups and half a sandwich.
Red by the end of the day.
So I'm there. They had a plush little leather couch in the green room. Oh, this is great. And I was sleeping there. It was going successfully. So one night, my eyes wake up and kind of hazy. I look, and I see a shadowy figure down the hallway. I was like, no, it's supposed to be in here. What is that? Ghosts. And I look at her, and it's like a movie like E.T. I scream. Ah! She screams. Ah! Ah! And I bolt. Once I come to and realize it's the cleaning lady. So I get invited in.
You go in there, so she sprays you in the face with fucking bleach. Oh, fuck!
So, of course, I run. I'm on the lam. I try to get out of there and get the quickest thing going down the hill in Hollywood. And I get to work the next day, and I have to be called in for a conversation. This is before the drowning. Before my...
Hey, you're not allowed to sleep here. Go get a hotel.
Yes, that's pretty much. All right, man. We know it's a struggle. We get it. You're an actor. Cool. Just don't sleep here. There's a rumor going around about lunches. I have no idea what you're talking about. I hate pastrami. So yeah, that was my.
Those were good. So my earliest work story, I got one of those, and then I'll tell you my tragedy at the end. I have a work tragedy. Aaron knows it. It's a pretty common one to us. But so I grew up in Madison, small town. The only places you could really work as a teenager was the bars. So one of my earliest jobs, and everyone knows everyone. So during the day, there's a bartender, and at night, her son was the cook. And she would go sit at the bar and drink an entire shaker of Black House through his entire shift so that he could drive her home. I was the dishwasher, right? Earliest time, we were classmates, like he went to school with me, right? So I'm the bus boy, I come in, I drop the shit off. One day he decides to get cute and fucking squirts my back with the mustard, right? I'm the dishwasher.
And by mustard, you mean mustard.
Like mustard, not like jizz. He squirts my back with fucking mustard. And it was a complete reaction. I just grabbed the dish rag from the sink and went crack on his back. His fucking mom heard him out in the bar. He comes in and goes, "What the hell just happened?" She starts laughing at him. He's like, "He hit me with a towel." Then she can see the mustard on my back. She's just fucking laughing her ass off. The next day, I come in and she's like, "I think you left a scar on him." On his back from a wet towel. And when you're the guy, just grabbed the first thing in hand and just went crack like a whip. He's like, ah. We're both teenagers. I got a lot of stories of kids' grandparents that I could tell them.
For the record, black people everywhere are not laughing at this story.
Oh, he got his revenge. He's whipped me.
Oh,
I have that too.
Yep.
were you? No.
That wasn't me.
It was no. It's because there are certain families or like matriarchs that will whoop you with the wet rag.
With the wet rag. No, I didn't have it.
Out of the tub.
I had the wooden spoon, and that you'd break on your ass.
Switches,
yes.
All right. So my tragedy story. It's a drama. Like it could be a fucking soap opera. I worked at the light right over there. I was working a day job. I had a factory job. My wife decides to go to college, right? And she works at the light. So I bum around to get a couple extra jobs because she said she needs extra money to pay for college because she assumes once she gets into her nursing program, she's going to be out of work, right? She's busting her ass there. She pulls like 60, 70-hour weeks at the fucking their busiest days are Saturday and Sunday, and it's only worth it for me if I come out there all day, which is what she did. Those are like the big money-making days. She was a server. I'd already learned working at Denny's here that I couldn't serve. My interactions with customers would be fine if they're less than 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I run out of jokes, and they realize I'm an asshole. So it fails very quickly, and I would lose a tip. And I also told my wife that I could do her job, and then tried it and went, oops, I guess I can't. Well, we started arguing all the time, and we were fighting, and there was a couple in their 50s that would come in all the time, and they kind of like adopted her as their daughter and would tip her a fuck ton of money. Like they go in and spend $40 on the bill and hand her a $50. The guy was a manager at Asian and I made a fuck ton of money. So somewhere along the way, the woman starts developing Alzheimer's, and she goes downhill real quick. In that, while also working the 60-hour weeks and starting college, which is why I did all of her work for her, she got an STNA license and was like, let's try out this nursing thing. Let's see what some of this is like. Well, she started becoming that woman's in-home healthcare and then stops coming home every night. And then one of those nights, and I was working second shift, so I wouldn't get home during the day until like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I'd go to sleep and wake up and do that 5 days a week and then do that 2 days a week because we could ride together. And we lived far the fuck away from the line. And then one day, she had taken the checkbook and I fucking needed it for something. I can't remember what. So I grabbed it out of her car, and then on the floor is this draft of a letter about how she can't wait to divorce her husband. So I go wake her up and go, hey, we need to talk about this right now. She doesn't say a fucking word, gets in the car and drives away. That was the last time she spent her night there. So turns out she had ran off with that guy. His wife had died about several months beforehand, and they started drinking together. It took until like a year after I was actually divorced for me to like, oh duh, they were sleeping together. Because, you know, you trust people. I stayed working at her life. She, of course, quit. She was thoroughly convinced like I was going to murder her. I mean, you guys know me, so in retrospect, that might be warranted.
I still have,
but she also, he knew me with her.
I still have it in my head that she's the reason the wife died. She was the caregiver.
She kind of is, but not. I can't fault her. So here's what happened. So the wife, Alzheimer's had progressed to the point that she was nearly brain dead. The woman was just a vegetable in a bed. And very, very common, you give those people morphine. And when a person is at that state, you just keep upping the dose till they pass. And Lisa might have been the one to do it, or it might have been... She was... Because the woman, after in-home healthcare, she had moved to a facility, like, for all around the clock, and we got a job there just to work with her. Yeah. And STNA places are desperate for anybody. Yep. So she might have been the one that upped the doses on the morphine. I don't think I can say that she was out to murder her. I think she was out to stop her from suffering. That's my justification. Now, I have no reason to like this person. She's a bitch. I hate her. But that's one where if I look at it without the emotion attached to it, I'd say that happens every day.
Yes,
And if
but
it's someone
when
you care about,
what-
you might want them to just go peacefully.
when you consider the grooming beforehand as a customer, then moving in slowly, the aftermath afterwards.
Which is part of the reason it took me so long to realize they were sleeping together, because it was very much like a family environment, because I was heavily involved with them too. They became like friends. I would go over there and help them out. We would do stuff together, go out on events, things like that. I was in their house all the time. Like, I knew where they lived, and when our shit started going down, I slept overnight in their driveway to get a hold of her because she stopped talking to me. You know, one of those sad, pathetic scenes. Oh, by the way, her name is... And please, spam the shit out of her. She's a whore.
I found out from my sister, because my sister is a nurse, and she has to deal with people with Alzheimer's.
It's
this
really
does-
common.
It's common for people to die, but the circumstances surrounding the before and after makes it a little bit...
It's really common for people to be morphed to death like that when they're brain dead.
Watching a lot of murder porn with my sister lately, or inspired by my sister, I will say that this guy has a great case, and she wasn't wrong to think that you might murder her.
No,
Not
probably.
you specifically, but like the
She-
general idea of it.
No, I don't think that. It's not
And
like I don't have violent
You could have
tendencies.
used the Bible to your defense.
And she had reason to be guilty.
It warns you about.
So I think it was more a reflection of her paranoia that I was going to get
That's not
revenge
going
on
Bible.
her for fucking. So that breaks down. I kept the house. She took all the money, right? She moves in with this rich guy who's going to pay for her. I'm kind of fucked. So I keep. Yeah, she ran off with the dude with money.
It took the money.
Yes, I get it. I got it. Moving on. I kept the house. I was still working my day job. I had to keep this job to kind of get myself back on my feet. So I was working 70-hour work weeks. And I was pulling 12-hour shifts there, but now I have to ride out there on my own. So I'm a host, and we just sit there. I mean, we don't sit there. There's a lot of running around there.
I used to be a host.
It's a fuck ton of running.
You
Like
can make a lot of tips.
I had stairs in my house, and every day I would get home from work, I had to crawl up the fucking stairs to get in my bed. Plus, I was working in a factory with concrete floors. I had to start doing push-ups and sit-ups to stay the fuck awake in that job. It was bottling. Just basically watch the shit, make sure it doesn't blow up. I lost like 40 pounds. Gained it all back. So I start hanging out with the hosts, and here comes this.
Wait, for the audio people, that was host, HOST.
Yes. They and one is this, chubby Christian girl with glasses and a bun and a big ass. And of course, I'm always behind her. And she's nerdy, and of course, that's instant boner right there. And she's a virgin at 31.
She was 34 at the time.
She was 32. No,
Holy
she was
AC
not.
Cooper.
Our son is 7.
Yeah.
Aaron's 41.
Okay.
Okay? So, I get a crush on her, and, it eventually becomes apparent to everyone involved that I got a crush on her. So I'm like, all right, well, it's getting kind of uncomfortable. I'll ask her out, knowing I'm going to get shot down because Christian girl, I'm me. Christian virgin girl, and I'm a guy that was married and had plenty of sex and all that good stuff with one woman, mind you. Of course, I ran through.
Not after.
No. I started that as soon as we were legally separated.
What you called your assisted masturbation phase.
God, and there were a ton of women that willingly compliant, all that sex stuff, but it was just assisted masturbation. There was
Crazy eyes.
nothing. God, that was the first one after Lisa, and she fucking.
I know.
She tried to do the Dom thing to me, and it ain't happening.
Well, I met her. I couldn't keep looking at her. I was like Jason with eye contact when
Fucking
she looked at you.
Crazy chick, yeah. I had pseudonyms for the first couple of them. One of them I called the Suicidal Bunny because on the way to the first date, a rabbit turned around and ran into my tire and died.
I experienced it.
So, this Christian girl comes Valentine's Day. Girl is the busiest place on Valentine's Day in Mentor, and it is a shitty place to be if you are single and lonely. She had been single and lonely for a decade. She had a dude that was going to marry her, and then he left, and then he comes back and goes, take me back, and then dumps her again a week before the wedding. So she flunks out of college, moves back home and lives with her parents, and starts working at the Marathon for 10 years. So no contact with dudes for nearly a decade. Like, romantic contact. I had asked her out already. She had shot me down. Predictable. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's move on, right? Then Valentine's Day happens, and she tells me to come over to her house after work to make out with me. She didn't tell me it was to make out with me. That was the whole plan. And I wore these gigantic, gaudy fucking lantern rings, right? The big, chunky plastic ones. I'm a host, so I handing these menus to people, and everyone could see these things. Nobody knew what they meant but me. One was bright pink and one was black. It was death to love. It was my little joke. My nerdy friends knew what it was, but my manager, who's a fucking moron, and I told her, you are a moron, had to convince her that I was serious, that she was stupid. Yeah, one of those people was like, ha 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 ha. No, you're an idiot. I should have been fired from that job, too. Especially because I used to hide comic books in the host stand. Whenever it was dead, I would stop to read them.
I heard of that comic book in the menu one time.
Oh, yeah, he commented too. And he just, all he could do was laugh. And then there's one time, I would close to my friends all the time because I needed the extra money and they wanted to go the fuck home. One time, like, people used to use the umbrella stand for trash and be like, you're closing and you go out the door at the last fucking thing, you look down and go, God damn it. I didn't do that. So as they're walking out the door, there's somebody left a water bottle in there. They said, oh, they left it in here again, motherfucker. And I grabbed the water bottle and just lobbed it out the fucking door and turned around. It landed right behind someone's car as they were backing out, and they slammed on the goddamn brakes and told the manager. They called the next day to tell the manager because we were locking the door as my friends were walking out. So anyways, there's this girl, and we make out, and we go through a procession of making out, and then ultimately she loses her virginity to me. And then about a year later, she gets knocked up by me. And I blame the kimono I got in Japan for her.
Probably.
Couldn't control myself. And that's my son's mother, who recently dumped me. Again.
For the 7th time.
Something like that. You know, about one for every year our kid's born.
Yep.
It's okay.
And around his birthday, you talk about getting married. She says no, and then you guys go on the run.
When she's lonely and horny again, guess where I'll be?
Valentine's Day.
Up in that.
Maybe. She keeps trying to go back to being like a celibate Christian, which is a load of horseshit. That's all imaginary. So, it's good fun. I was at church this morning with them. That's where my kid is. Her and the kid go there, so I go to see my fucking kid and do the family thing. You gotta be reasonable and whatever. Sure.
I forgot which one you guys told me about that when he forgot a comic in the like
Probably right.
It was a Green Lantern one, and the customer got it. It was like, oh, good, I haven't read this one yet.
So there was the nun story. So this girl and I had gone to a wedding for one of our friends. One of your friends, Jenkin.
Jenkin.
Not Jenkin. You might have been there.
Probably.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's your brother.
Yeah.
Their wedding. Yes, like I should have fucking known that. We were at their wedding, and I guess I got like one of the people who was supposed to be in the wedding party bowed out, so they just asked me, "Can you just step in?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool, that's fine." But that meant I showed up at the church way too fucking early, and they left me alone in the church. So I roamed the goddamn halls. I put on the crown of thorns and took a selfie. Here is that picture, and I showed it to her, and she's like, "You motherfucker!" And like a week later, I'm at her light, and these nuns walk in. And I'm like, "Oh shit!" So I see them at their table, and, "Can I get a picture?" They were really nice about it. I'm guessing they were Catholic. They drink a lot of wine. Oh, good times. Good times. So that's my tragedy story. Wow. Olive Garden, whatever. I figured that would be the good one to end it at. Unless anyone's got a better story than that.
I just got the one worse one. I used to work at Plug-In. I had to clean the ladies' room. That was the worst toilet.
Man, of all the bathrooms I've had to clean in my life, the fucking women's room is always the worst. Well, like, can you stay seated the whole time? Please.
So we plugged up the toilet, and they just kept on going and going and going. By the time I got in there, somebody told me, I've got a bad story for you about that. This is not a work story.
I was thinking about a work story. When you walked in on Boyd in the bathroom. Oh, Jesus.
I go in to take a piss, and there's this old dude who's kind of off his rocker a little. He'd been there 100 years. He's in the shitter, right? And I go to take a piss, and all I hear is his commentary. He's like, "Oh, Jesus." And he's grunting. And my friend Aaron walks in, and we can't stop giggling at this old dude fighting his turd.
And then I can continue to work with him for 5 years.
Oh no. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, it's time to get out of here, man. Old dudes are fucking up the bathroom.
Yeah, I was there a lot longer than you were.
Yeah, it was this babushka woman. Like somebody from straight out of Russia. She looked like a little. She had the headband. I'm waiting for her to speak Russian or
I guess at the McDonald's I worked at, there was a. I guess you could say the prettiest female that would ever come in, and it's like a regular customer. The first month or so I was there, the first time I was ever sent to like clean up the bathroom afterwards. So they sent to break me in. They were like, okay, yep, she's out. Go in and you can clean up the restroom. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be okay. I figured pretty girl goes out and nothing.
He's doing the sign of the cross on it.
Yeah, it was one of the most interesting bathroom experiences I've ever seen.
That is a polite way, and it sounds more like I had sex in the bathroom. I cleaned up someone's fucking diarrhea.
Some attractive.
I will say that some of it did get into the toilet.
Lord. Oh yeah, my friend. There was a time cleaning out the lot. There was somebody who had shit their pants, dumped their underwear behind the toilets, and just left.
I see those a lot.
That's the way they used to break into people at McDonald's is when a kid shits in the pipes.
Is that universal? Because
Yeah.
I worked
Nobody wants to do it, so the new guy doesn't know about it yet. So they send you in to do it.
I worked
That
at
still
I worked at
happens.
Independence and one day it's, hey Andre, Brian, come here real quick. Hey, grab some gloves.
I know where this is going.
So we end up in the bathroom, myself and Brian Gorin. Shout out to Brian Gorin. And someone has decided that they're going to do graffiti.
In their shit?
Yeah.
What?
On the wall. And at 6, me today, I'd be like, well, that's cool, I'm out. But then I was like, dutiful little 16-year-old, so I cleaned it. But
Did your duty?
yeah, we
It was a Call of Duty anyway.
Come on, who else? One more, please.
Well, anyways, it was all over the toilet seat. They have the toilet handle flusher on the bottom of the floor and straight up the wall.
Okay, I said no problems with the public before, but that is my one problem with the public.
Is they treat the
I'm
toilet
like, what'd she eat? I mean, what'd you do? Just go.
Did you climb the fucking stall and
Yeah,
just
like-
slide down on your ass?
Spider-Man.
It sounds like an exorcism.
She's doing like her stripper routine while she's shitting.
They're going around in a circle. No, this was straight up the wall. I'm like, what the hell? And then
The underdog pretends to be like a classier place to eat, except when you have all you can eat pasta and the rednecks show up, you'll never see so many people in there without sleeves. And they eat to the point that they puke. So every single shift during that season, someone has puked in the goddamn bathroom.
Sweet Lord, mercy.
And it got to be a point where it was the host that had to clean the bathrooms. So many of us would fight over who had to do it. The manager would offer free dessert to the person that would do it.
Like
You want to eat after that?
No, it says you can get it later, not now. I
Why your experience with
don't have any
post-traumatic
gag reflex to that because I jump in dumpsters all the time.
Yeah, we have a story about that one.
I mean,
Yeah, I
dumpsters
know.
do stink.
No, I trash
Sometimes
pick
life
all
gives you gold. Sometimes
place gives you shit. He was with me during that one.
yeah, I remember
Sometimes you're
that.
driving along because you open up
It's in a dumpster diving.
grocery bag thinking what was in it. It was a pile of dog shit. So you got it on your hands.
It's dog shit. And I'm like, I have to hold my hand like this and drive away and go, hey, we got to go to like the library to wash my hand. It was,
Oh, the library.
it was right around. It was the closest place with a
You had
bathroom.
your palm heels up against so your
Yep,
fingers were
to try to turn.
Yeah, heard
I
the
learned
story
from
before.
there,
It's pretty funny.
never ever reach into a bag without gloves on. I learned the hard way.
Oh,
It was funny because posting a lot was when I would go around to do my dumpster diving at the local places. So I would have like my little uniform and with my ass hanging out of a dumpster. I got caught by the police once. They just told me don't come back.
yeah, it's like that was a couple times.
Oh no, I've had them stop me a few times, but only once did they tell me that it was illegal. Other times it wasn't illegal. Just because if you go behind businesses, you're technically on private property, so they can call it petty theft. But if it's like the edge of the road, the laws start to get different based on what city you're in. There you go. Is that where we ended?
Yeah, I suppose.
All right. We can
Yeah.